Thank you all so much for joining us again to be a Scaleback Alabama coordinator. We are in the 2017 year of Scaleback Alabama. This is our 11th year, and we are so excited to jumpstart this program off again. Guess what, guys? We broke the world record for the most people on a scale. We are officially Guinness World Record holders. In January of last year, we broke the record for the most people on the scale. We had 157 people to join us at Sable Steel and to help us to kick off Scaleback Alabama 2016. It was an awesome event. We had so much fun, and we broke the world record. So kudos to everybody that came out to participate. We thank you so much for being a part of that process. And if you missed it, it's okay. You're still able to help us to celebrate the 2016 Guinness World Record event that we had and a break in the record. So it was awesome. I just want to talk a little bit to you guys, the returning coordinators, about the program and just give you some tips, some reminders about your role as being a coordinator. You know, one of your biggest roles is just to promote the program in your respective area, in your community, in your workplace. If you're able to get any TV spots, any media coverage is always awesome. We want the community to know as much about Scaleback Alabama as possible. If you can send newsletters within your organization, that is awesome. Just any way that you can promote the program locally, we really appreciate it because we want as many people in the community to know that the program is beginning as possible. Also, encourage your participants. Those of you who are returning know that when your participants register online and they bring their registration forms to you, it's a much easier process. So please encourage them to register online. And they can also this year register on the phone app, which is also good, but encourage them to register and print their registration form out and bring it to you so that that process will be smoother going forward. Also, you know, you have to have your registration forms on site in case they decide to not do that, but encouraging them to do it online is always good. Also, you know, you have to host your weigh-in sites at the beginning and the end of the program during the designated times, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. You know, you have to enter your weights online through the database. You still have to go into the database using your username and password to be able to enter your weights into the database. And we encourage you to host those optional weigh-ins for participants weekly if you can. You're not required to, but just an opportunity for participants to have that accountability and stuff. That would be awesome if you can do that. Also provide lunch and learns if you can. Just anything that you can do to keep your participants engaged throughout the process. All those things are optional. You know, the main things that you have to do is to weigh in at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. We keep that support going with the toolkit. There are tons of stuff in the toolkit. Those of you returning are familiar with the toolkit. You have your registration forms in there. You have your guidelines for participation. Those are things that the guidelines you need to try to pass out to your participants so they'll know what the rules are of the program. You can also go through and order your weight tracking cards and your posters and those kinds of things. Please connect with social media, with Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter, all of our social media sites. We want to make sure that the participants are able to communicate and see what's going on with each other through Scaleback. All that is available on scalebackalabama.com. I just wanted to show you a picture of the resource page. You guys are familiar with this. It has a link to your guidelines that are in the toolkit, your registration form. It also has the videos for people with varying disabilities. Please make sure to watch that so that you can make sure that you're accommodating people who may have varying disabilities, and make sure that everyone feels included in the process. Your weight tracking cards, you can order those as well. It's going to look a little bit different this year because the program is an 8-week program, so there are going to be fewer slots on your weight tracking card. So if people ask, just make them aware that it is 8 weeks instead of 10 weeks this time, but the goal is still for each participant to lose at least 10 pounds. You can order your posters so that you can advertise. That's also available in the coordinators only section of the website. And then the dates of expectation. Right now on the screen you're seeing the 2016 dates, but the 2017 dates will be there when you actually go into the site to access your information. And just as a reminder, you do have to re-register to be a coordinator. I know every year it may be a little bit frustrating to you guys that you have to re-register, but you have to re-register every year because some things change. Your address may change, your email may change. We just want to make sure we have the most updated information. So just as a reminder, you have to be an Alabama-based company in order to register, and your participants have to work in or live in Alabama in order to be registered, in order to be eligible to participate. You have to make sure that you are going to weigh in at least 3 teams, and we're still having teams of 2, but you have to have at least 3 teams in order to register as a local coordinator. And in order to register, you remember the process. You have to send an email to info@scalebackalabama.com. Within that email, let us know what type of organization you are, whether you're a hospital, a health department, school, or what have you. Make sure that you indicate that, and whether or not you're going to be a public or a private site. You guys know that each year we always request that you be a public site if possible. That gives more opportunity for community members to come in and weigh. They will be able to come into your facility to weigh, as opposed to if you're a private site. And if you're a private site, then you'll only weigh the respective members of your organization. But if you're able to be a public site, please do so. We will post your weigh-in dates and times on scalebackalabama.com. If you're a private site, you'll have to make sure that you advertise your weigh-in dates and times yourself. Again, you have to make sure that you weigh in at least 3 teams, and you can't weigh yourself as a coordinator. I think you guys are aware of this, but make sure that you have someone else who can weigh you if you're participating on a team. We definitely encourage you to if you'd like to, but you just can't weigh yourself. So make sure you have someone to weigh yourself and that can record your weight on your weight tracking card for you. Please, please, please make sure that you keep all weights confidential. Weights are very private. Weight is a very private issue for most of us, so make sure that you're very confidential with a person's weight. You're not sharing that. If team members decide to share weights, that's fine, but you can't share anybody's weight with anyone else. Please don't do that, because it can be very frustrating, and that is very confidential. So please make sure that you are not sharing anyone's weight with anyone else. And try and make sure that you use the same scale throughout the competition, the same scale that you weigh a person in with initially. Hopefully that scale will be available at the end. Just kind of keeps things balanced and help people to feel a little bit better about the process. Again, be sensitive to people about their weights. Don't share them. If a person comes to your weigh-in site and you don't have a scale to accommodate them, then please let them know that very privately. Don't say anything out loud that anyone else can hear that may be embarrassing for that person. Also, make sure that you're sensitive to people with varying abilities. If there's a person that has a wheelchair and may need to find a facility that has a place that accommodates a wheelchair, if you would go to the website and try and assist them, if your facility does not have that, assist them in knowing where they can go. There will be a little icon by all of the weigh-in sites that have accommodations for people with varying abilities if they're in a wheelchair. But also with varying abilities, when you're doing your advertisement, try to include, if you're using pictures and things like that, someone in a wheelchair or someone who has a cane or any other ability that may be varying, so that they'll know that they are able to participate in the process as well. We just want to make sure that we're sensitive and that people know that they can participate in the program regardless of their ability. A little bit more about the data entry. You all are very familiar with this. When you search for your participants, when they bring the registration form and you're trying to link them in entering your information into the website, you can search by various methods. You can search by their name. If they have a team name, you can search by that, their address. So there is a field where there's a drop down and you can search by various things. So be mindful of that, and when you're connecting people, to make sure that we get people connected on the team. And also, please double check your spelling. If you are entering the weights in from a registration form that a person has brought in, please make sure that when you are entering it in that you spell their name correctly, their email address, their phone number is accurate, and please make sure you enter accurate weights. It all just goes to make sure that it's a smooth process on you guys' end as well as on our end when we're checking data. A little bit of a reminder about the prizes. They have not changed. They're the same from last year. For the teams, each individual has to lose at least 10 pounds in order to be eligible for any prize. Of course, the 2 team members that are on a team together both have to lose 10 pounds to be eligible for the team prizes. And all the prizes are listed there. You'll see on your screen. They haven't changed from last year, so please just be mindful of those. Also, just a reminder of some of the things that are new this year. We are going to an 8-week program. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier in this webinar, but make sure that when people ask that you make them aware that it is an 8-week program as opposed to a 10-week. And even if they don't ask, just make them aware, because it will be a little bit shorter this year than it was last year. And we changed the length of the program because we got feedback from participants and from coordinators that they wanted to see some things different to help them to stay motivated. And we thought that making it a little bit shorter, and from the request of it being a little bit shorter, that this might be something that we could try this year. And hopefully it'll work better for not only the participants, but for you guys as well. The registration process, you can register. New this year is that you can register through the phone app. Participants can also register through the website and in person, but encourage them to register either through the phone app or the website, so when they come in, they can bring that printed form to you guys, and it'll make it a little bit quicker process for you. Also remember to add info@scalebackalabama.com to your email pass list. We want to make sure that we are able to get information to all of the coordinators, and sometimes you guys have security methods that may prevent us from getting the information to you. They won't come through your email, but if you add info@scalebackalabama.com to your pass list, that makes it better. Also, triple check your data to make sure that it's accurate before you hit the submit button, and be very strict with the weigh-in dates and times. You want to be very mindful of that first week and that ending week dates that are available for you to weigh in your participants, and you have to be very strict with that and not make any exceptions. Just to go over the dates with you, December the 12th is the day that the coordinators only section will be open. If you're accessing your information, then it should be right around December the 12th. December the 23rd is the deadline to register as a coordinator. We want to make sure that we have all that information in the database so that we can make sure that we advertise to people to know where your weigh-in sites are going to be. And January the 2nd is the deadline to enter your public weigh-in site information. We want to make sure that we have enough time before the program begins so that the public will know where to come in order to weigh in. We're going to have a kickoff on January the 9th just to announce the program, the beginning of it, to the citizens. And also on the 11th through the 18th, that's the official weigh-in week. So your time should be whatever time, whatever day, whatever time you choose during that week. It has to be between January the 11th and the 18th. You guys know that you can. We hope that you have a lot of availability and are able to weigh multiple days, but even if you can only weigh one day at one particular time, we just encourage you to be a public weigh-in site if you can, or if you're a private weigh-in site, just make sure that your participants know what date and time you're going to be available. January the 25th is the deadline for entering your team weights, so we want to make sure that you have that information into the system by then. As the program is ending in March, we want to make sure that you have your information about your public weigh-in sites, your weigh-out sites available to us by March the 10th so that we can make the public aware of where they can come, again, the dates and the times for the weigh-in. The official weigh-out week is March the 15th through the 22nd. So make sure that any time between, you have your designated times between those dates for the weigh-out. And after that process is over on the 27th of March, that's the deadline for entering your team weights. Make sure you get your information in, because we definitely want everyone who is eligible for team prizes, everyone who's eligible for individual prizes, to be able to have an ability to go into the drawing for those particular prizes. And then April 5th is the day that the contest drawing will be. So after the competition is over, April the 5th is when we will announce those winners and that information. If you have any questions about anything, I think you guys are really familiar with the frequently asked questions. If there are any questions that you have that are not on there, please feel free to contact us. You see on the screen the way that you can contact us. It hasn't changed. It's at scalebackalabama.com. Just go to the Contact Us page and enter whatever question you may have or whatever information you may need. Additionally, just let us know and we'll get back with you. I also want to remind you that Scaleback Alabama does not endorse any special diets, products, or fitness routines, and we encourage you guys to not do that as well. We just want to make sure that people are using very safe methods to lose weight and to live healthier, and we provide tips and information on our website that we think is very helpful, but we don't endorse any specific diets or any specific selling of any products or anything like that. So please be mindful of that. And also, you know, we do have the tips. We hope that they're very useful to you. Please use those as you encourage your participants through their process. They have been developed by experts throughout the state, and there's very useful information, we think, very beneficial information, and it's science-based information that could be used to help people through their process of living healthier. If you have any questions, again, like I said, please feel free to contact us through the Contact Us page. Again, we are so excited that you decided to join us again as a coordinator for Scale Back Alabama, and we hope that you have a wonderful 2017 program. Thank you.